Let's get started with the very first conversation for the day. And it's a two-part conversation, but we'll start with the issue of national importance, and then we'll get to party politics. We're being joined in the program by Dr. Tanko. He's the interim coordinator of the Obedient Movement. He joins us via Zoom. Dr. Tanko, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
How have you been faring with the fuel hike and the fuel scarcity and all the things that are around it? So let's begin with how you've been faring, and then we'll get to what you will have to say about what is going on in the country.
Well, it has made it so difficult now for Nigerians to move from point A to point B. It has also grounded most of the businesses that people run, even ones that happen in the neighborhood. And what it has just added to it is added pain and pang to the Nigerian people. And then the most interesting part of it is that it's just like saying that I'm putting my hands in your eyes and you cannot do nothing about it. I mean, Nigerians just came out of this particular NSAS protest, saying that requesting or demanding that the fuel prices as at that some couple of days ago should be brought down. But the government now in its own thinking now thought, okay, let me punish these people for even going onto the street to protest against this government. So to me, that is what it looks like. Because for any government who cares about the feeling of its people, it must have listened to the yearning and crying of the people and say, okay, look what, let us find a way of reducing this particular pain and pang and then move the country forward. But ordinarily, what was done was that to say, okay, I am ready to put more pain to you and I dare you to do anything about it. That's just as simple as it is. Because if not, why would you, out of a crisis, instead of you managing the crisis, and you are now adding to the quelling the problem? And the most painful part of it again is that most of these young men who have been so-called arrested have been charged for a treasonable offense, where some of the people who have crippled this country economical-wise have not even been arrested, nor are they being charged for treasonable offenses. And that, for me, is the height of it all, because it shows that the poor people, that justice or rule of law is only applicable to Nigerians or the poor Nigerians on the street, but those who have stolen the cost of the country to a point of stupor get padded in the back and then being manipulated judicial-wise to escape even punishable offenses. So if you treat your countrymen who are supposed to be the beneficiary of your government in such a way, I wonder if really you are governing the people. So there is this particular young man who is an entrepreneur on my street. He used to have his shop very well packed. He was able to live in that direction. He was a graduate BSc holder, and then he managed a small chaos like that. And then the people benefit from some of the ways he buy things. But today, that particular business has been granted, and so many others like that. So if you want to grow an economy, it is the entrepreneur, the small-scale entrepreneur that really help in building a society. But in this case now, we are crippling them, and then we are encouraging those who have stolen the country to a point of stupor.
All right, Dr. Tanko, before we get to the issues in your party, one more thing on this particular issue. And we're looking for solution everywhere, because at the end of the day, Bola Tinubu may be our president, but this is our country. If your party is proposing an alternative to what is going on now, what will it be? In maybe 2 minutes before we get to your party issues.
Well, first of all, you need to be transparent to the people. The people need to know ABC, how it becomes another D. Or you must give a calculation and that to how and when, what really led to this particular situation. You have to have the confidence of the people. But as it is now, the people have lost a lot of confidence in this particular government for not even being transparent. Then if they have been transparent, many people will have brought in so much good ideas that can help in mitigating the solution to the problem. But for we have already stated that right from the beginning, what we will have done was say that we are building modular refineries that can cater and take care of this particular production of oil for Nigerian use. But it seems they deliberately make it in a way that you cannot have those modular refineries or any source of having alternative to fuel supply rather than the monopoly that is already established. So we have to kill that particular monopoly and make the people have the use of the petroleum product that can help them in growing the economy.
Well, let's go to your party issues now, Dr. Tanko. And it appears as if the party is moving on now with that convening of a NEC meeting by the governor of Abia State, which saw, the attendance by a good number of party elders. But the opposition is saying that there is no basis, no constitutional basis for that meeting, because even INEC has not issued an official communication to the party that the Congress that it held was illegal. Perhaps I could just quote some of the things that the opposition is saying as regards that meeting. It says, "We challenge Alex Oti to produce the official letter addressed to him from INEC on the subject matter. There is no vacuum in the leadership of the party. Consequently, the so-called caretaker committee set up by the governor is not known to the constitution of the party." So the main crux of their grounds with that NEC meeting is that it is unconstitutional. When you consider Labour Party laws, even the Electoral Act that they're also quoting as well. So what's your reaction to this?
Well, I just want to appeal to everybody. Remember, I had an interview on this particular platform when I said that His Excellency Peter Obi is trying very hard to ensure that he mediates in this particular matter. And part of the mediation process, which he did, was to engage members of the National Assembly elected, members of the Senate. He also engaged members of the Labour Congress, as it were, and then he met with the party leadership also. Like in his own words all the time, that we need everybody. And so the final arbiter, based on the processes that was already enshrined, even in the Constitution, recognized quite a number of people, including the existing governor of the Labour Party in the person of His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti, and members who are statutory members in the constitution of the party, including the Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC, and then some other persons who are statutorily recognized by the constitution. But that is not the catch. The catch is that everybody that's already assuming to be in position of power or wanting to be in position of power were invited by the most high-ranking member recognized by the constitution of the party. So, including Chairman Abure, for them to be at the meeting. The target is that His Excellency wants to find out how best we can approach this matter after having consultation with everybody. And I think the most civil way of solving such issue is for us to look at ourselves face to face and say, look, these are the problems, and this is what the position of the law is. And from the information reaching out from the Independent Electoral Commission, who provide a guide as regards to what can be used, what use can be made in order to solve the problem. Don't forget, there is an alternative dispute resolution department in INEC who resolves such issues if it does occur. So I think everybody was carried along in trying to find solution to the problem. The result was what you saw at Umuahia as we came. So I don't know. The Independent Electoral Commission has the right to look at if the processes were followed according to the provisions of the Constitution and provision of the alternative dispute resolution, and say, okay, fine, we now recognize what you have done. At least the most important thing is that the solution was found within ourselves. It was not outside the political party. And those are part of the internal mechanism that help in mitigating the issues that arise.
Now, ahead of that meeting, there were reports that the party requested that all litigations against the party be withdrawn. But we find that, according to reports, key members of the National Working Committee were absent from the party. Now, if they go ahead again after this effort, to seek a solution to the internal crisis, if they go ahead to challenge this in court, saying that this meeting has no basis in line with the constitution of the Labour Party, then the peace effort may hold no water at the end of the day and the litigations will continue. Is the party worried about that?
Well, politics is dynamic, and I can assure you that there are interest groups both inside the political party and outside. And then people will always be finding ways of finding solution to the problem. Of course, we are also aware there are those who will also want to sponsor problematic areas and just to cause chaos within the party. And that is the reason why majority of the stakeholders were at that particular meeting. At least that I can say authoritatively, we have almost 95% of the people that were supposed to be the decision takers, and they were at such meetings. So invariably, it simply means that the majority has spoken on behalf of the party. But let me make this clear. None of us is going to be left behind. Nobody, whether in the Aburi-led leadership and members of the National Working Committee and those who are already aspiring the NLC, the TUC, everybody, as His Excellency usually says, they are very important to us. Very, very important. We will find a way of mediating the solution and solving the problems internally. But at least we've gotten a headway, or there's a kind of a leadway in finding solutions to the problem, rather than us keeping quiet. Because look at it, we have an election coming up in Edo State. We have local government elections already ongoing in some places and all. We have rescheduled Federal House of Representatives election in Kaduna and some other states. So we are losing by the minute. And anybody who believes in the Labour Party, who is the darling of Nigerian people at the moment now, will try as much as possible to come down from his high horse and say, look, hey, what am I even gaining from all of this? Let us really find a solution to the problem. So the idea of dropping all litigation is fantastic. You don't need it. You don't need any litigation against the party at the moment now. If there are issues that you have, we have capable hands that can really look at this validity of such cases and find solutions to them. And in the event that INEC make its pronouncement as regard to whatever has happened, it will help to reduce the pressure on the leadership, as the case may be. So we are very, very hopeful, and we believe that such legal issues and any other issue can be resolved within the party's apparatus.
All right, Dr. Tanko, I can almost predict that there will be issues because they say what you did in Umuahia is illegal and unconstitutional. And I took my time to look at your constitution and how to, because it looks like you removed the chairman of the party. Although Alex Oti, the governor, said we didn't remove anybody. We just want to look for a way forward. But looking for a way forward has to be by the books and by the law. If you look at his Article 18 of your constitution that talks about how the chairman can be removed, he said it has to be at a national convention convened solely by him, which looks like even a defective framing of the law itself, because if you want to remove somebody and he has to be the convener of that national convention, there's also an issue. But there's also a special convention. So how does Labour Party want to get out of this quagmire? Because like you're putting more crisis on the table. If these guys go to court, they are likely to get the case against you. And if you go to the INEC portal, it's still Julius Abure, who is the chairman of the party. What happened that the deadlock went on that it now had to be this special extended stakeholders that is strange to your law? If there's a NEC to be convened, NEC has to be, the chairman has to be in that NEC. So we can poke through and see the holes in all of this. How do you want to navigate out of this? Because it has to always refer to the law.
Let me quickly say this. The Constitution is very clear on the processes. And if the Constitution has already spoken as regard to who become who, don't forget, there is issue of a tenure extension that already been established by INEC themselves. not by the other members, but by INEC themselves. Even in their actions, you may say that such document was not communicated. I want to believe that INEC, they are not stupid. They know exactly what they are doing, because as I know the INEC chairman for a very long time, is somebody that is a stickler for position of law and agreeing on position that you or whoever must have taken in writing. And I said there was a document in the dispute resolution department that is already an agreement already that has been breached. And that particular agreement may be the catalyst to the solution of the problem. So if we are to go by that, there are those particular issues that can give right, a legitimate right to whatever decision that was taken in Umuahia. But then we do not want to go through that particular route. What we are interested in is amicably settling this matter within ourselves. So I'm saying that even though some people may want to go to court, our leaders who are in the position of leadership of the party will still reach out, and they are still reaching out to individuals to take care of these particular differences that we have. And then I also know for sure that INEC will make their own pronouncement, knowing fully well the challenges that the party is facing, and it being an independent arbiter that can really look at the interests of the party. So we are not oblivious of the fact that the Constitution say ABCD. We are following the Constitution too, and then we want to make sure that apart from following the Constitution, there's another alternative way of dealing with the problem, and that position and processes is what we are following.
Mr. Tanko, I'd like you to clarify something, because some members of the faction led by the Abia State governor are saying that INEC has said that there is no leadership of the Labour Party, and as a result, this is the reason elders are rallying, to hold that Umuahia convention, Umuahia meeting rather, such that a solution can be found. But on the INEC website, Julius Aburi is still recognized as the leader of the party. So what is the implication of that meeting convened? Does it mean that Julius Aburi has been sacked as Labour Party chairman?
What I would rather say is that I know for sure that INEC cannot place something on nothing. There must be a process that they agree with. And so if they agree with the new position, they will make the necessary changes as it were. Okay? And then the fact remains that nobody is trying to use the word remove. Nobody wants to discourage or dehumanize anybody in such a way without after we have led a fantastic leadership. What we want is for every one of us to understand that we are working together. People are genuinely aggrieved about certain issues. But those particular issues too, we are politicians. In politics, you don't fight each other to a point of as if you want to kill each other for nothing. Because today you may not be together, tomorrow you may be together. But it depends on how you show your magnanimity in terms of disagreeing and agreeing. And once you have that particular agreement, you will find out that, okay, in the future, we will end up working together. So I am foreseeing the simple fact that tomorrow will be better. If we have different opinion at the moment now, when we are still talking to each other, there will be solution.
Dr. Tanko, pardon me. One of the outcomes of that meeting was that the caretaker committee has been given 90 days to resolve the crisis, and that will result in the conduct of congresses and a new election that will see new executives elected, right? So are you playing safe by towing this line of not stating whether or not Julius Aburi has been sacked as national chairman?
Because I'm being a party chairman. I know what it feels like to be in saddle of leadership. I know what it feels like for your leadership to be challenged. I know what it feels like when you don't have general acceptance. And I know what it feels like when you feel that you have already nurtured something to a particular point, and then you all of a sudden you have a lot of challenges and all. So these are normal in political line. But what is appreciable and making somebody a hero in a political setting, it is when you yourself go the level of, acceptability, or more or less like being calm. Just like I always give Abure a pat on the back. I always say that during the time in which the third force was looking for a house to accommodate our dreams, it was the ability of Abure to calm down, even though there was challenges in the past, for him to calm down and say, look, I'm ready to give room for all of this. Let's negotiate and all. And that's what made him a hero. And if he followed that particular line, he will be a double hero today. And doesn't mean that probably today you find yourself probably not being accepted by the people. If you follow a line of showing objectivity and concern for the collective interest, it may give you a more pleasurable and more better opportunity in the future. We've seen people that have exemplified such.
Right.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan is one of them. I have been a chairman, and I am no more a national chairman of the political party. I have not lost anything. In fact, today and yesterday, before yesterday, when I was nominated as the national chairman or the interim national coordinator of the obedient movement worldwide.
All right, Dr. Tanko, we're totally out of time. Thank you so much there's a lot to ask you as far as the laws and the way forward is concerned, but we must thank you, Dr. Eunice Tanko, interim coordinator of Obedient Movement. I wanted to even find out whether the Obedient have accepted you as well, but we don't have time for all of that. Thank you for coming on the program, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I can authoritatively tell you that yes, we've gotten acceptance and we're moving forward as a team.